So in clickTRUE, typically in Malaysia especially, how do I actually address the B2B marketing problem? We were trying to educate them first, saying that you should go in and understand your buyer's persona. So if usually they will say that no, I already know who my customer is.
Oh really?
Okay. Yeah. So typically they will say that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we have a set of questionnaire to actually send across to the marketer or even the bosses to answer, and then from there we will actually qualify them, seeing that whether do they really understand their buyer's persona. Those who actually appreciate what we have done, they want us to actually continue to move to the second stage.
When you say that when this customer who doesn't even understand their buyer persona, do you then go one step further to try to explain and teach them what is this buyer persona?
Yeah, depends on their reaction. If they actually really curious, as a community service, we will actually like go in and we even do free training, explaining what buyer persona is to some of our clients, some our ex-client, right? Just to get the message across, saying that the decision-making process is not that simple.
So there are multiple agencies in Singapore.
We're talking about Singapore industry, B2B.
Yeah, and I've chatted with some of them, but most of them doesn't actually stress on buyer persona. Right? In fact, I got the same thing when I talk to customers. Usually customers will talk to a couple of agencies, and then a couple of agencies, typically we tend to stand out because we always ask very deep questions and say that, hey, you're a B2B company. Would you already then have your multiple buyer persona? Because we believe that a B2B process, where you talk about average sales cycle of 120 to 180 days, is long, and hence, because it's so long, it cannot be just one person making the decision.
Yeah.
And if it's multiple stakeholders, it means, do you actually understand what are the pain points or the aspirations of these multiple stakeholders? So most of the time, the clients find this idea refreshing.
And with consumer nowadays, your audience nowadays searching and actually browsing all the social media and all that, you'll be served by buffet of ads.
That's right.
Yeah. How do you even stand out?
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned a good point and say, I think clickTRUE could have been in the market long enough to be different. I think it's because we stand out because we look at how these buyer personas are going about trying to solve their own problems. They have their own pain points, or they have their own goals and motivations and aspirations to fulfill.
Yeah.
And because of that, if we can write it in a way, whether it's the ad copies, the landing page narratives, or the emails, right, you would then have a better chance of click rates, open rates, right, and for people to continue on receiving your emails, right, and not unsubscribe. How do you raise it to the point where that you are cutting across that noise and telling somebody that I could feel you because I could describe exactly what you're going through? It's about trying to uncover what the brand owner could do for you by writing it in a way that matches exactly your current stage of your pain points. So for us, I think for clickTRUE, we do a lot of buyer persona interviews to the point whereby we actually interview actual customers. Right, and then ask them very deep questions until we uncover from the mouth of these ideal clients and say, what's the pain points? What's the motivation? And then from there, we come up with a slew of all these advertising messages, which will then help us to get better clicks and better connections with it, and then eventually get us those end customers.
So to add on, how do you usually convince the client to actually allow you to even interview their existing customer, for example, so that you can understand their buyer's persona?
Would you want to hire another agency who would just come up with creative ideas, pluck from the sky, and then just say that, let's try this? Right? Or would you be more comfortable with somebody who say that, I actually talked to some of your customers,